Welcome back, Halo followers. Today I have one of the most exciting pieces of news this year, in my opinion. 343 is restoring 1998 and 1999 Halo, as well as that beautiful Halo 2 demo that we saw way back in the day. They are digging up tons of cut content from the original Halo games, including Halo 2, and are releasing it to the public, to modders. And not only that, they are cleaning things up, they are making things work, including cut vehicles, weapons, even animals, and entire worlds, a ton of missions, even a cut Halo 2 mission. I mean, this stuff is insane. Like, it's insane. This is the biggest essay I've ever seen 343 write in a long time. So what I've done is I went ahead, read through this, all right? A lot of it is just them talking about how they did it, which isn't super interesting. Rather, I want to focus on what would make this video fun, which is just breaking down the juicy bits that I know y'all just want the scoop on. So before we get into it, guys, be sure to smash that like button blue and be sure to subscribe. Join me on HaloFollower for following Halo over 11 years. All right, so they have gone back to the 1998-1999 Halo. And it turns out a lot of this stuff is kind of broken, right? NPCs exist in a nightmarish state of non-existence through concept art and models incapable of motion, right? A lot of weapons that will never be fired, vehicles that will never be taken to the skies, yada yada. This is where they come in with a 3-part series. Today we're reading the first part, the cutting room floor. This is where we're learning more about the cut content of 1998 Macworld era Halo, RTS Halo as well. Halo 1 and Halo 2 being restored, cut content, all right, including missions, weapons, yada yada. Part 2, they talk about who has been working on this, and then Part 3, they get into a special encyclopedia, cannon fodder. So I think today is probably the most interesting bit of the series. So they go into a file called Share Halo 1. This file is chaos as they go into the article explaining this a little bit more. They say, when I started a methodical and structured approach to recovering as much of Halo's source as possible, this is an insane undertaking. One of the vehicles that they have recovered is called the Spectre, right? I think I'm saying that right, or AKA the Shadow. They've actually gone in and recovered this and cleaned up the textures, cleaned up the scripting, cleaned up the balancing even, and which we'll see with other vehicles, right? They're actually even bringing back the Macworld Master Chief, right? The classic armor, which we saw did return to MCC as like something you could actually use in Halo 2 Anniversary, I believe. But I mean, this is insane. All right, they talk about Stealth Tank, which we'll see that soon enough, but they're talking about reviving characters here. We have cut assets, but are they rigged? What animations are available? Will it destroy the engine if they move their head? All questions we need to ask ourselves before, importing these models, before importing these textures and scripts and trying to make them function right into the final game. Now, the team responsible for digging up this stuff is called the Dig Site team, right? Their job has actually been to grab these models and dig them up and create new animations or fix the old ones. They've actually corrected shaders, made new tags, adjusted assets, not only to get them working, but working pretty darn well. In fact, 343's whole mission here is to actually get this stuff retail level as if it was to release back 20 years ago or whenever for Halo 1 or 2, right? I mean, they are acting like they're going back and finishing the games in a way. This is insane. The number and complexity of assets also quickly expanded to include cut animations, weapons, maps, and even bipeds as the team flexed their animation texturing and tools creation expertise. Right? Working on refining long-lost Halo 2 content, starting with the Piglet, then expanding to look at restoring other cut content and resurfacing ideas. Right? Cute little warthog drive around here. Very cool stuff, very cool stuff. But data, tags, everything, right? They are trying to polish this as best as they can. They can actually be put into our own mods in the future. Enough information will actually be able to be given to us so that we can experiment, remix, and even port. So they say we can't include stuff that we don't have, and not all development files survive the transition from Bungie to 343. Now, if you don't know, the development for Halo 1 and 2, especially 2, was chaos, in which they'll talk about that soon. But yeah, stuff didn't survive, of course. I mean, we're talking about over 20 years of game development. They've actually found the RTS era vehicles, right? If you don't know, Halo was originally designed to be an RTS game, right? So the fact that they're digging up these files, and not only that, look at this, right? Look at this. They are actually going to be integrating it somehow, right? They say that it's not easy because of the support data, the textures, the animations just aren't there, and it doesn't look good in first person, all right? This is supposed to be like way far away from the gameplay viewport, right? So they say we really don't know how many, what these things were even supposed to do. We don't have any design docs available to us, and it would be cool if they hit up the original creators of this, see if they remember what they were trying to do with these vehicles. But they are working on these vehicles, but they will require more time in the development oven, they say. And oh, this might be the Covenant fighter pod. Actually, that's the Covenant tank or whatever, alien tank. They say we have managed to recover cyborgs, animations, aliens, weapons, vehicles, and props from the 1990 era Halo. Using the original tags, the team has tried to replicate the particle effects and sandbox values in the retail engine where possible. So they're trying to keep things authentic, and you can actually see a lot of weapons on the side here that they are probably experimenting with, taking these RTS weapons and putting them in a first-person perspective. That's so cool. They're trying to keep things as authentic and as they were originally designed as possible, but because of just, years of game development and lack of context, they don't really know what to do, so they're just going to fill in the blanks. And worst case, if they can't, they're going to let modders at least be able to experiment with it and release it to us. Right? This is amazing. They actually took the cyborg rig, as it's called, from the 1990 era Macworld demo and plopping it right into the game. I think they up-res the textures to 4K, but regardless, it's pretty much the same exact model from that era. So that is pretty mind-blowing, in my opinion. Including iterations of the plasma pistol and plasma rifle, they were actually able to find these weapons. And you'll see here, right here, SMGs. All right, multiple SMGs. I think this was an original plasma rifle here, perhaps. But yeah, and this is the lightning rod, or the rod from the dead gods, they say. I'm not sure what the weapon originally was. I think there is some gameplay of it, but that Marcus Leto released. But yeah, the Spectre's being worked on. They're releasing this thing, I think, from Spartan Strike, maybe? Or maybe it's actually, I don't know if this was designed for Halo 1 or not. It looks a little bit too high detailed to have released in 2001, maybe? I don't know. You guys let me know. Maybe I'm missing something here in the text, but yeah, they said that this is the Crestal and it would be fun to port over to the game. So they talk about this new vehicle called the Viper, aka the stealth tank, and they've actually balanced it in Halo 1 sandbox, which is quite incredible when you think about it, because this is actually being implemented into Halo 1 in a legit way. That's what I'm appreciating about it. They're not just digging up files, they're balancing them too, and they're working on them, making them complete, at least until they have to fall back on modders, let the modders work with whatever they are able to do. They also talk about the first Forerunner vehicle ever made is a Forerunner tank. It's going to take some work to bring the shaders up to a retail level, but it's on a short list with their future planned releases. So very cool. This thing is coming out, and I think it looks beautiful, right? Forerunner tank. They also talk about the doozy. Water vehicles have not, they're not well supported in Halo 1 or 2, obviously, because those games don't support water, right? Well, the dig site crew considered making it a jet bike, but that's probably too far into reimagined territory, they say, for our current work. It's also not the only boat we have in the harbor. So I'm not quite sure what they're planning on doing with this. I think they should still release it as a jet bike, honestly, even though, of course, Halo was supposed to have water battles, and even as recent as Reach was supposed to. They're recovering the original Elite, and they actually have some other surprises with us regarding the Covenant. I think this is actually one of the Hunters' first designs, anyway, into the game. Looks very wacky, very weird, kind of bizarre. Does not look like Halo, so I'm glad they went with the final designs. But they actually got wildlife here. They got the Thorn Beast coming. They also got the classic Blind Wolf. I mean, these guys are awesome. And yeah, I wonder if they're going to bring back those Sharkoid guys, actually. These little beasties roll as a battlefield corpse disposer, but was never fully implemented. But the recovered model may yet find a home in the future mods as an ambient critter, or perhaps ported to Halo 3 or Halo 2 as Boids. So maybe these might work in the the later Halo games. Very cool. They talk about maps. They got a lot of maps coming from Halo CE, including B20 was a very early campaign map, and they are actually exploring making it a firefight map. And they got a few other stuff, like from Gearbox, they made a map called Indoor that wasn't ready to ship. Race Day was a Halo 2 working map for a Car Wars style mode. They say why we continue to seek treasures, such as the tracked Warthog variant. We do have cool stuff for the modders to have fun with the campaign mods and multiplayer mayhem. They're bringing back the Halo 2 Mongoose, but I don't think this is super... I think, yeah, they already included this into the Halo 2 editing kit. The Uber Chasis is back and drivable in Halo 2. Yes, Master Chief is rocking his car. Let's just call it a car because that's what it is. I love the screenshot that they made. I mean, this is just fun stuff. It reminds me of back in the day, Halo 2 mods. I mean, this stuff is so neat. But the fact that it's coming from cut content that was designed for Halo is just something really special. Really scratches an itch I didn't know I had, you know? They do go on talking about a cut mission for Halo 2, and if you do want to read this whole thing, you know, I'll leave a link down in the description for this post. But, you know, just kind of skimming over, they say they have some big surprises for folks in the area of maps, but they want to talk about one huge and early success in rebuilding a cut campaign map, Alpha Moon. Alpha Moon is this kind of, I don't know, it just looks like this. I mean, this is the theme of it, which is just this wreckage, right? Portions of this map got worked on into gas mine levels. However, people have never had the chance to experience this level as intended. Campaign maps require several orders of magnitude more work than a multiplayer map, so being able to get this restored is a source of real pride. Guys, this is a cut Halo 2 map that might not be as authentic as it would have been back in the day, but still, regardless, it seems, for the most part, right, this level has been restored. They say that the level wasn't far off from being complete, however, maybe by not retail standards, release standards, but certainly as a fun curiosity. So don't expect it to be as maybe high quality as a Halo 2 mission, but still, it works. And apparently it's fun. It sounds like it's going to be fun. They also talked about Earth City, and they say they can confirm that they are working on rebuilding the original E3 Earth City scenario that makes it playable in the modern retail Halo 2. If you don't know what they're talking about here, way back in the day, Bungie released this infamous trailer that made Halo 2 look way cooler than it actually ended up being. It was insane. There were so many scripts going on, and it was false advertising. However, here we are, many years later. They're talking about how this is not a trivial process to recover this, but they are taking this skeleton out of its grave and making it walk, right? They are bringing this demo map to life for an engine that no longer exists and trying to not get it to blow up the current light mapper. So the engine is struggling. They actually have over 3,400 lines of barely documented Halo script code that was written under an insane time crunch. You know, if you don't know, I think Halo 2 was made within 9 months. So it was an insane amount of time. They really crushed it. And they had to cut a lot of stuff. And this is just the surface, I think, of as far as like content that we're going to be able to get here in the near future. I don't know if they said the timeline. Maybe I'll update it in the comments if I do see a timeline. But it looks like they're talking about this releasing this soon, and every time I see that word soon, it usually means within 3 months with 343. But they say their end goal is to get this mission running in MCC and playable end to end and working as intended if you follow the presentation script, including the Ghost hijack. So this was an E3 demo. I'm guessing that it will work and be fun and be playable as intended, as long as you do what the presenter was supposed to be doing during the gameplay reveal of Halo 2 here. So very cool. Not quite like a fully operating mission. Very scripted, obviously, but cool nonetheless. We've been waiting years to hear about this, right? I don't think any of us really had any hope left to ever be able to see this again or hear anything about it, but 343's got it in their servers, man. And that just makes me really, giggly. Very excited. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Probably not the most thorough breakdown, but I just wanted to cover like the juicy bits that I thought were interesting and wanted to share with y'all in a reasonable amount of time. I mean, this was like it was like almost a 15,000 word script, I feel like. I mean, it's just so many pages full. But anyways, you can get this full article and read it yourself if you want to. It might take like 45 minutes or something, but I'll catch you guys in the next one soon, all right? You take care. Peace.